Ho ho! Quran Court's gotta go! Hey!
Hey,
Ho ho!
I know how hard it is. I consider myself a strong man.
You are!
But this system broke me down to nothing. And I tried to take my own life. I took a knife and I sawed open my wrist as deep as I could go until I was stopped. My will to live was completely gone. And you want to know why my brothers and sisters are killing themselves at the rate to the tune of 22 a day? There's an organization called Second Class Citizens, founded by my brothers and sisters. We now have direct, concrete evidence that what the court system is doing
That's right.
is forcing my brothers and my sisters into poverty, into incarceration, causing them to lose hope from the very country that they swore to protect. They feel betrayed. They feel betrayed for the sacrifices that they make and that their families make.
We fought for those rights.
That's right.
We fought, we fought
Thank you.
for all y'all.
That's right, you did.
And here we stand today. And you know what? Just because you didn't serve, that doesn't make your sacrifices any less than mine.
I was in Iraq 2 years.
Because I know that you guys toil day in and day out to provide for yourself and your families. I know that some of you work 2 and 3 jobs. I know some of you will commute 1,200 miles to get 2 hours with your children. I know that some of you are paying so much child support that you eat ramen noodles 7 days out of the week.
Right.
So I understand that your sacrifices are just as great as mine, and your suffering is just as great as mine.
I only get 1 hour with my kid every week. 1 hour.
Yes.
And I pay full child support.
I don't
1
get
hour
to
a
see
week.
mine. I don't even get to see mine. I haven't
I
seen
ain't
mine in
seen
2.5
mine since
years.
November.
We'll see you on 19th.
Let's go.
Let's see you
Let's
in
go.
Let's go.
baby.
Let's go. What do you want?
Justice!
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 Hey, I'm gonna turn this mic over because I'm getting hoarse and my ego's inflated enough by all you people standing right here watching me. I'm gonna hand it over here to this lovely young lady right here and let her talk to you guys.
Okay. All right. It's unexpected. This is on the fly for me.
Go closer, go closer.
Okay.
There you go.
My name is Melissa Isaac.
Thanks for your service.
Thank you. And I was an alienated child. I was a foster child. I was kept from my father for a long time. I will carry the physical scars from the abuse of my biological mother the rest of my life. Right? Now, what I do is I'm a divorce lawyer. It is not who I am. It is what I do. I do not relate myself with being a divorce lawyer. I am disgusted with the family court system. I am disgusted with family attorneys. I'm disgusted with most of my colleagues, to tell you the truth.
It's a corrupt for-profit system.
Myself and the lawyers in my firm, we fight every day. We fight for equal rights.
Nice.
That's all we're asking for. And we tell these judges, Judge, all we're asking for is equal rights. That's all we want. We want access to the children. My clients don't care about the house. They don't care about the household possessions. They don't care. What they want is they want to be parents to their children. And that's what we say, is we tell the judge. Judges make their decisions based upon factors that doesn't matter about Dad's work schedule. Guess what? It doesn't matter, because Dad had no restrictions under the same schedule while married.
Right.
Why does it change now just because Mom decided she doesn't want to be married to Dad anymore?
Right.
We have good fathers who want to do nothing but be fathers. And the courts take these factors that have nothing to do with parenting, and they use these factors to determine who needs to have primary custody. Now, one thing that people have to understand is that dads going through the system, a lot of times their lawyers won't even explain to them the process or what things mean.
Yep.
Sometimes dads will come in and they'll say, well, I went to court a couple years ago and I have joint custody. I look at the paperwork. Joint legal custody means nothing.
That's right.
Okay, so you dads need to understand. Joint legal custody means nothing. It means you have access to medical records. It means you have access to school records. That's it.
If you're a scam.
If the school and doctor's offices, if they comply. So understand this. When a dad doesn't have shared primary physical custody, There's no decision making. You are truly a visitor. You are truly a visitor, which means for no reason you lose the ability to make decisions on education, on religion, on extracurricular, on medical. You are truly a visitor. This is wrong. Every day we see dads standing in child support court. They're there in their best get up and they're trying to explain to the judge, this is why I didn't pay. We've seen men going through cancer. No, do you have a letter from your doctor? Well, no, I didn't know I needed one. You're going to jail. There's been men that have gone to jail begging for their medication while they're being escorted to the jail.
Wow.
These dads are sitting there getting railroaded and there's no one to help them.
Right.
There's no one to help them.
Right.
It is a broken system. The lawyers don't seem to care.
No, they
There's
don't.
a handful of lawyers who care.
Because they're
And
getting
there's a
payback.
handful. There's a handful of judges who care. A handful, but they're the exception. The vast majority of judges we go in front of, right? They're comfortable with status quo. They're comfortable with 4 days a month. And I'm often asked the question, well, Miss Isaac, this is the way it's always been. Well, there's even case law that says just because this is the way it's always been doesn't mean it's right.
That's right. Amen.
So I feel for you. My heart goes out to you. The lawyers in my office, we shed tears along with our clients because we feel like we are the minority going in and fighting for and bringing the truth to the table. But let me tell you, it is a business. The divorce system is an institution.
That's right.
It is a business. It is. We have to pull together.
Yeah!
Everybody has to pull together. There's so many different organizations. We have to work together. We have to unite.
got
The
several
best
here right
thing, the best thing that has ever happened to fathers' rights, to family rights, to parental rights, is social media.
Yep.
You guys take to social media. Tell your stories. Everyone has a story, and we can relate with one another. Guys, I'm so proud of you all for being here. God bless. All right, and hey, you ladies out there, who have golden uterus syndrome? If you want to see what real women look like, feast your eyes. No matter what happens, my children will never be without their father.
Sorry.
Hi, for everybody that's here for this march who wants to do the interview for the documentary. Ginger's standing right over there. Please go over there one at a time.
2 minutes.
Yeah, 2 minutes. Yeah, just 2 minutes worth. And then we'll start to wrap this up. We still got some other individuals that want to speak.
I do.
So we got Eric right now who's going to speak first. Okay.
You want to go last?
Yeah, crazy. I mean, Chris.
I'd like to go also.
No, I'm standing here in front of the White House. I've never been. And I haven't had any contact with my daughter in 825 days. I actually voted for this man twice. I know some of you might think, well, that's stupid. But I actually believed that he would bring change.
Yeah, he gave us change.
Well, I'm sorry, but do you have any change in your box today, or did the courts take it? No, I've always been real with you people, and I'm going to be real with you today. I want to thank Cash for letting me come along with him. If it wasn't for Cash and many other people because like she said before me, social media has changed the way this happens. I don't know where I'd be today. I would certainly not be here if it wasn't for a lot of you, and a lot of you are standing here today, so thank you. I appreciate it more than I could ever pay any of you.
Well, you support us, we support you.
So as I stand here looking at this, it makes me feel like this is just a sham, this is a shell. That man and that can't bring any change. We have to bring change.
Yes! He's going in a few months.
We would appreciate it if you'd at least acknowledge us, Mr. President.
Yeah!
So like I said,
What the hell? How to get
if we can bring this many people together, we can get a lot more than this next year.
Yeah!
Hopefully we don't have to. But I was fighting in Washington State for the Brandon Jones Act. There's a lot of great people that were working on that legislation. That bill was to stop paternity fraud. Mr. President, I don't know if you've ever heard the phrase about lying on a birth certificate, but if you don't know, it is legal.
Yeah.
And 100% accepted by our courts of equity to lie on a birth So like I said, I haven't seen my daughter Rory in 825 days. As much as I can get it, a lot of you find people on the phone, as much as all of you can look me in with a camera here, I can't get my daughter to get on my phone. As clear as I can hold it in my pocket, it's not my daughter ringing my phone. Although every time it does, I pray it is her.
Yeah!
So, like I said, I will continue to fight next to anyone and be an ally to anyone that is fighting against this.
Yeah!
No matter what banner you fly under, we are united.
Yeah.
No matter what banner you fly under, we will fight this together. And no matter what banner you are, Mr. President, we will not go away!
Fathers,
Thank you all
will
very
never
much.
be defeated. Fathers, united will never be defeated.
Parents.
Hey, that's right, parents.
Brothers, sisters, mothers, fathers, grandparents, grandmothers, cousins, aunts, uncles, you are here in Washington, D.C. Okay? Cash says that our politicians work for us. That means you vote for them in or you vote for them out. So screaming here and crying here and crying on Facebook and putting likes and shares and hearts and anger faces and sad faces, that's fine. You came all the way here. But now you have to go to the voting booth together.
That's right.
Otherwise, all of this is for naught.
That's right.
Okay?
That's right.
You have to go back to your districts. You have 2 senators and you have 1 representative. You have to find out who they are. You have to get together. All of our Facebook groups have to get together. We have to start planning together, finding out who our strengths are, who's good at writing, who's good at computers, who's good at drawing. Get it all together. Get Miss Isaac and other lawyers together and start voting together. That's how Martin Luther King did it. That's how the women's rights movement did it. That's how the gay rights movement did it in the changing the rules of the Constitution. Everybody has to cry and suffer through it. It doesn't take a day, a week, a year, 5 years, 10 years. It takes 20 and 30 years of doing this and voting. Don't forget that.
We got 2 votes.
But after she got the full legal proof, she did it. Just because I had a disagreement with her.
Hello. Wow, here we are. My name is Christy Beck. Woo! Can you hear me? All right. My name is Christy Beck, and I'm with Mommy Interrupted Radio Show. Thank you to all of you for being here. Should I wait? No. Okay. Thank you to all of you for being here to support Cash Jackson and Restoring Freedom 2016 campaign. This is my first time standing in front of the White House. And all of you, you know, I know there's been a lot of talk about fathers, and I'm absolutely in support of fathers' rights, the fathers' rights movement. Thomas Fiddler's here, and I know many of you who are your state leaders. Put it closer. And it's blowing my eardrum out as I do that. But I am here to represent the mothers as well. I am an erased mom. I am a targeted mom. I have been alienated, and it's been over 3 years since I've spent time with my now 19-year-old daughter.
Mental illness is gender neutral.
Mental illness, let's talk about that. My radio show, Mommy Interrupted, I highly encourage you to listen to it. Part of my mental illness, which honestly he never went to a doctor or psychologist or therapist, and I've gone to many, and I'll voluntarily go to any. I will work on whatever issues I have to work on being balanced and staying grounded, and so, because there's a bipolar diagnosis in my case from years ago. If we want to go there, I can talk about that. I got married I don't want to tell my whole story here, but just to wrap it up, I got married very young and ended up, we weren't a match. I got depressed, and my daughter was about 2 years old, and I sought therapy. So I went to counseling. It didn't help. Talk therapy didn't help. So they suggested I go on medication. So I went on Prozac. I don't like medication. I went on Prozac. I stopped it abruptly. And what happened, that's not something to do. If you ever take psychological, any kind of antidepressants, take it as prescribed. Okay? You taper off. But I basically stopped it abruptly, and I had a manic episode. So I was not in good shape in that moment. As my daughter was younger, I wasn't in my best state as a mom. So I can fully take responsibility for that. Ultimately, though, at that time, her father told my whole family that if I did not check myself into the hospital, he would file for custody of our 2-year-old daughter, and we were married. So I did check myself into the hospital, and after being in there for about 2-3 days, he filed for custody. So I got kicked when I was down, and he got custody. Fast forward, I basically got out, I went through the system, I did whatever it was I had to do. I was on medication, I was on lithium until I think 2002 or so. But I had 50-50 custody. I fought my way. I ended up in the early days, I think maybe mediators and things, maybe things weren't as bad as they are now. And I know maybe I am at an advantage that I'm a mother, but it did happen to me due to where I was mentally at that time. However, so I had 50-50 custody for a very long time. Fortunately, her mind was poisoned that I was crazy, and I'm not entirely normal. I'm funny. I'm silly. I'm myself. That's who I am. I like to have fun. I like to laugh. I was there for my daughter. I was a parent volunteer at her school. I was a Girl Scout troop leader. So, anyhow, things, he got remarried. Things went on. And by the time she was 16, that was the last time my family and I spent time with her, when she was 16 years old at her 16th birthday party. I went back to court to try to reinforce the court order at 50-50, and after a year and a half and 2 attorneys and horrible mediators, Divorce Corp, Judge Peter McBride was actually my judge, and he's featured in Divorce Corp, so I was in Sacramento in California. I could name all kinds of names right here, but ultimately in the end, after a year and a half, I represented myself. I had court watchers. I spoke up, and I used my voice. I cited case law, and that day, May 19, 2013, I lost custody of my daughter a week before she graduated high school. I was ordered to pay $500 a month in child support, while her father makes $12,000 a month. On my income, I ended up having to change jobs and move in with my parents. I slept on a rollaway bed for 2 years to pay my child support. Anyway, my daughter's 19 now, and she's at college, and Hannah, I just want to tell you, I'm here. I love you. I love you forever. And my other message is, really, we need to unite. Okay, we need to stop the male bashing. We need to stop the female bashing. Stop the mother bashing, the father bashing. This is about the children. And everybody here, most people here that have addressed Obama, Barack. I would like to say, Michelle, I'm calling on you as a mother. I know you're all about your children, and you're a great mom. I love to see what you do and what you've done for families and for mothers, and the the work that I see you do. And I actually saw you at the Women's Governors Conference in California a few years ago, and I just implore you, what would it be like if you were not allowed to be in your children's life?
That's right.
What would it be like? How could you be a mom? How would that make you feel? So, anyhow, here I am, and Two other things. Today's Patriot Day, September 11th. Today is Patriot Day, so very significant. Thank you to all of you who have served. Thank you, Cash Jackson. Thank you to all our military. I'm grateful, and my heart also goes out to anybody and everybody. Michael Gilligan, come here, please. Anybody and everybody that's involved in September 11th that was actually there. I'm a travel agent. And so September 11th in my career impacted me and impacted my clients in a big way, and I had people there. And I'd like to say thank you to you, and I can't imagine the horrific things that you've gone through. So thank you, Michael. You're welcome. You're an awesome guy. And secondly, today is Grandparents' Day. So we stand here united for our children, not just as mothers, fathers, siblings, but grandparents. So it's Grandparents' Day today. Don't forget, grandparents are the elders. Yeah, my daughter Hannah was very close to her grandparents, and she has been stripped from their lives. And it is elder abuse. It is my mom and my dad are heartbroken. And so, anyhow, I just thank you all for being here, and I look forward to our continued momentum in this movement. Peace.
Is Thomas next? Is Thomas next? I need to know I'm recording. Thank you.
Thank you, dude. Blah, blah, blah.
Hello everybody, my name's Thomas Edler.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm the founder of the Father's Rights Movement. I came down here from Alaska. Thank you all for coming. Last time I was here was 3 years ago. Did a rally at the Capitol building, and I was here with my children. My daughter was holding this sign. And now I get to hold it today, here in front of the White House. And I won't keep you guys long. My story is the same as everybody else's here. The names may be different, places are different. The misery was the same. It ended with alienation of my children. And in that regard, we're all together in this. And what's important to understand here, everyone, is this is not the end. This is only the beginning. This is a pivotal moment. That's right. Pivotal. This is pivotal. I've been in this movement for 5 years now. I've never seen this many people mobilize.
Nice.
Parents united will never be defeated. Parents united
at the beginning of this,
will never be defeated.
I had a sign-in sheet. Let me put it this way. We got 4 sheets filled, and that's 25 people on each sheet. Nice. So you do the math. 4 complete sheets.
I need to sign in. Good. We need more people to sign in.
And there's individuals that have yet to sign. Lori.
Yeah, me too. I didn't sign.
All right. Before you leave, make sure you get with me. I have the folder. You'll be able to sign it. And do sign it. We want your name. I appreciate everybody coming. The movement doesn't work with just one person. Cash alone, he's not going to be a movement. Neither am I. The movement takes people. It takes people to show up, not just be on keyboards. That's right. You all did that. Everybody that's here today is a leader. Everybody that's here today took action. And everybody that's out there watching us, you need to take action.
Yes.
I hear on the page all the time. Okay, you've grown. What are you doing? Okay, we're here. All of us are here. Yeah. Okay, what are you doing? Look in the mirror. The movement is we. It's me and it's you. That's right. You can't say what are you doing. You got to look in the mirror and say what am I doing? Yeah. You've got to get involved. All of us have got to get involved. We've got to stop this. I'm going to end it on that note. There's a lot of people here that want to talk. Thank you all for showing. It's been fantastic.
Thank you, Thomas.
Thomas Edler.
Bravo. Give it up, guys. Give it up.
I know he is. Yeah. You're after her. Did you want to speak?
No, thank you.
Oh, you're after Lori.
I don't know how that happened.
Yes, talk.
Absolutely.
Did you record me?
Of course I did, as soon as I could get my, huh?
Yeah, we're waiting.
No, you're fine. I got it.
Hi, how y'all doing? My name's Tim Heroes. I go to court on the 16th here locally. I've had a big idea for a long time. A lot of people don't understand too much about Washington, we have something called the Cannon Building. I don't know what the senators use, but all 50 of our congressmen have an office in the Cannon Building that goes around the Capitol. When they're not voting, they're in their offices. We need to get a letter signed by thousands and thousands and get it duplicated 50 times and drop it by every one of them. Then we need to do the same thing with the senators. Let's get something going on this, because I believe that's how we're going to be heard the best.
That's right.
Quickest.
That's right.
If we flood them with that, and then sooner or later, maybe we'll walk down the hallways there. We'll get a little thing going walking down the hallways. It's legal, and I'm pretty sure they're going to listen to us.
Okay.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes.
So, my name is Lori Fortin, and I'm from Massachusetts, but I'm not going to tell you my story. I'm going to tell you the story of thousands and thousands of families throughout the United States. This thing happened on November 19th, 1997, where Bill Clinton signed a bill into law, and it was called the Adoption and Safe Families Act. And Hillary Clinton seems to claim to have written it. I don't know if that's true, but...
Just another one of her most bogus lies.
But what she does know, as soon as it went into effect, it ruined tons of families. And the number one reason was because of the federal money that came from pulling children out of homes. They pulled the children. CPS now had an incentive to remove children instead of working on whatever little issue, whatever your neighbor called because she didn't like you and reported something to DCF or CPS or whatever it's called in your state. It could have been a husband and wife breaking up and one mad over the other and calling up. 90%, or actually it's more, 93% of the calls that come into DCF when they investigate are unsubstantiated. So they never even found a reason. Yet they will pull children. And they will pull children from better homes, from good homes, not the crack houses you need for adoptions. And those, no offense to anyone, but those blonde hair, blue-eyed babies are sought out. People want to adopt them. So any little reason they find, they'll remove children and put them on the adoption track and make you jump through hoops and do more things and do more things, and in the end you're never going to get your children back because this bill only allowed for money to go to help children once they're pulled. So it went to the money for the foster parents. It goes to all those psychologists and GALs and all those assessments that you have to do, and psychological, and they're all intertwined to find you unfit so that they can collect the federal money. But what I'm asking, and if you guys are staying around, we have a week-long rally in front of the Capitol this week, 9 to 5, 10 to 5, something like that, and we're going to go visit our senators. Senators are the key here now because the House of Representatives already approved this bill. It was already supposed to be voted on, but the foster care industry with the billions of dollars put up a fight because they're going to lose their money, because children shouldn't be institutionalized. They should be home with their families. So we're going to have this week rally, and the senators should be voting on it. We're going to go visit. I'm from Massachusetts, so I'll probably go visit Senator Warren and Markey, and everybody there will go visit their senators to ensure that they're in support of the Families First Act, because it will take the money, the federal money that goes to foster care, and it will now support children at home. There'll still be made-up cases because they have to keep their job, but now at least the children won't go through the trauma of being removed from their home, and then they blame the parents on that trauma for whatever abuse or neglect happened in the home when it was usually none was found. But the actual event of removing a kid from their natural family causes the trauma. So now we have psychologists working with the kids, programs working with the kids, all that money from the federal government. And now with this Families First prevention, the prevention is on foster care. Prevention services of Act of 2016 will make it possible that any federal money will only be to to help families within the home for at least a year. And then if children need to be removed, you can only get the federal money if they're placed with family. Grandparents, aunts, uncles, family, because family is what matters. Dads are what matters. Moms are what matters. Grandparents. I'm raising 3 grandchildren. I didn't have CPS involvement, thank God, but I will be happy to return my 3 grandchildren when my daughter recovers. And that's the way it should be, but that's not what foster parents want. They want to adopt your child. And they shouldn't have your child because they should belong with families. So join us if you can. Thank you for your time. I applaud all you dads again. I've said it before. And I was going to address the president over here, but I can't. I don't have the heart to, because they're in a different world. They don't understand what we go through, and it's a waste of my breath. So thank you. Hope to see you this week on the Capitol lawn across from the United States Justice Supreme Court. East Lawn, thank you. And we're also sleeping there Thursday night. So anybody that wants to sleep on the Supreme Court steps, come on over Thursday night. Thank you.
All right, for everybody that brought signs, we have a few over here. If somebody's missing one,
I have multiple.
yeah, we have multiple ones over here. I'm also looking for the Truth Exposed banner. Whoever's got the Truth Exposed banner, please bring it up front.
Brian, Steve has it. I want that. I know who it goes to.
Let me finish with the speaking first.
Chris, I don't know how to get it open. Oh, go ahead. Oh.
All right, for those who haven't signed the guest book, please come up here right now. I'm pulling it out. You can sign it because I know some people got to go.
I want to thank everybody for coming out here. My name's Eric. July 29th, 2006, I came into a building to a pastor of a large religious cult in our country, looking at me with a smug on his face saying that, well, your children are gone, what are you going to do about it? My children are taken from me because of the fact that I'm a United States Marine. They say that all Marines are mindless killing machines and need to be kept from their children. I want to keep this short. We all have stories, and I don't want to go on with too much. But what I want to remind everybody here is, it's not about reform. It's not about changing things. There are very strict laws which we are all obligated to submit to. I've been entered into the Leeds NCIC system, the federal government, as a threat to my country because I'm a United States Marine, an ex-police officer, have knowledge of weapons, and am now considered a threat. As soon as my children were taken, about a month and a half later, I found out where they were at. They were taken and hidden cross-country through the networking of these churches. I found out where they were. I went to pick them up. Immediately found them. They ran, got into my car. Police were called. Police said he's done nothing wrong. They came with me, except for my youngest. She was still an infant. I took my kid to the doctor that week. That night, about 5 in the morning, I had 11 police officers outside my motel room. They took me into custody. Sitting in that room, in the booking room, my daughter's in there. My kids were allowed to go back and forth. My daughter comes in crying, saying, I don't want to go with mommy. Don't want to go with mommy, daddy. I want to go with you. I never saw my kids. They took them away. I was ordered to sign documents. I refused. The city of Ashwaubenon took my kids from me at that point, said I wasn't allowed to see them. Again, Marines, and plus the fact that I associated with Jews. You see here, we kept, I taught my kids about the Bible. I don't care what your religion is. Deuteronomy 31:6 says, be strong and of good courage. Do not be afraid and fear what they will do. For I am the Lord your God, and I go before you. I will never leave you or forsake you. That was one of the last things I told my kids the night before they were taken away. Like their God, I am your father. I will never leave you or forsake you. And I've now spent 10 years fighting it. Never had an accusation of PTSD. Never had accusation of any criminal, psychological issues. No. Mine was because I associated with Jews, associated with blacks, and people of lesser status in our society, allegedly. So I share that these are breaches of law. As I began to go into the court system, I cited statute after statute to no avail. Friends of the Court is a domestic terrorist front that is in breach of law, and all its members need to be brought under scrutiny. They've been violating our statutes. I'll keep it short in closing, but I would like everybody here today is my son's 13th birthday, 13 years old. Tomorrow is my oldest son's 17th birthday. I have a 17-year-old, a 15-year-old, a 13-year-old, and a 10-and-a-half-year-old with phone calls in my pocket right now, recordings of them crying. They want to be with me, see me, talk to me, and everything else. I have no clue where they're at. They've been hidden from me. And latest thing is, as the young lady before me mentioned about adoption, for 4 years, I've been getting documents saying you need to turn over your kids or else. They've threatened my life. They've taken all my assets. They've taken all my kids' assets out of banks and everything. For 4 years, I've been told you need to give them up for adoption, need to give them up, and I've refused. I demand to know where they're at, so on and so forth. To this day, I've been told they were adopted. Again, illegally. And I want you guys to understand that there must be a uniting of everybody. You've got law enforcement officials out here who are going through this. This is not against all government officials. As that young lady came up as a family court attorney, she's here to fight for us. But like she said, she's in the minority. It is absolutely imperative you pass the word to everyone. This ill affects every citizen in the United States. And it is literally bleeding dry the United States government. That's for billions of dollars. I'm not a good speaker, I apologize.
You did good.
Anyways, thank you. Take care.
Woo!
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, round of applause.
Woo!
Well, my name is Mehdi, and I went through Montgomery County.
Can I just announce for Steve? Because then
What's that?
Steve, can you ask for Steve?
Steve, can you come over here, please?
He's holding the banner.
Steve with the banners. Could you please come over here? Oh, okay. Well, anyways, I'm here to tell you about my story. You know, we hear a lot about domestic violence. We hear about a lot of families going through that kind of but in my case, my ex was arrested for domestic violence 3 times. 4 records of medical records, overdose at the hospital, Shady Grove, Montgomery County, Shady Grove Hospital, in which I subpoenaed all the records and brought them to court. Guess what? She walked away with full custody, full legal, full physical custody, and I was downgraded from a father to just a sperm donor who gets a 1-hour visitation at a mental health institution in which they conducted a full mental health evaluation and there was no concerns. And I went to a private psychiatrist and I went back to court. These stories happen all the time. The well-being of a child should not be because one side can afford a better attorney or can spend more money on a legal case, on a family legal case. Rather, it should be the best interest of the child. How could one judge argue that my kid was better off being with a mother that was arrested with 3 domestic violence, multiple overdose charges, overdose medical records, codeine, Xanax, benzodiazepine? I mean, my question is to the Vice President of the United States, the author of the Violence Against Women Act. How about Violence Against Men Act? How about Domestic Violence Act? Why sexism from the top to bottom? Why a 21st century? Why, if someone raises hand on someone else, we go about the person that initiated it, not their gender, not their sex, not where they came from. I disagreed with my ex on multiple issues. I come from the Middle East, from a predominantly Islamic country. I come, as a matter of fact, the name Islamic is in the name with the Islamic Republic of Iran. But I didn't want to circumcise my child. I did not find circumcision to be necessary. But guess what? In the same custody court, they brought up issues that I might be a flight risk to my home country. An atheist who doesn't want to circumcise his kid on a flight risk to Iran? Are you seriously kidding me? This kind of stories happens every day, and it's just happening because one thing and one thing alone. We cannot leave our kids' well-being in the hands of a bunch of corrupt bureaucrats at family courts, because all their incentives is to make a buck and make them look better and just do as a status quo. If we want change, we gotta request, we gotta go to different, from senators to people high in power, try to get legislation where we get citizens, ordinary citizens, for a family court law. For instead of you get a one government bureaucrat that happens to be born in another and happens to live in another mind, that fathers are less of a parents. This sexism does not fly in this 21st century. It's about better parenting. It has nothing to do if you're white or black. It has nothing to do if you're a female or male. It's about the best interest of the child. Woo! Unless we can unite together, mothers, fathers, everybody together, and fight this sexism, starting from the Vice President of the United States, in which he only thinks violence against domestic violence only happens from fathers toward mothers. But my case is the living proof that my ex-wife was arrested for domestic violence 3 times. And she got full custody, full physical, full legal. How did that happen in a 21st century transparent court system? The nurse as a matter of fact, did not allow the judge at the Michael Algeo. That's right, the Michael Algeo, shame on you, in which 3 subpoenas from 3 different hospitals, institutions, medical records, was not allowed to be heard in the court. On what grounds? Well, when a month of notice was given to the other attorney of these records, and then we brought the nurse that in the triage had her interviewed. He only, as soon as he figured out the questions is about her well-being or mental health, guess what happened? She was let go. She was like, there's no questions. She did not allow us to make any more questions. But we got one question. Do you recognize the defendant? And she said, yes. I saw the defendant at Shady Grove Hospital on this date. And we had the medical record at hand. These stories happen on a daily basis. Corrupt judges like Michael Algeo exist everywhere.